Life is full of challenges, but one of the most difficult ones is navigating relationships with people who don't have your best interests at heart. Sometimes, these individuals hide behind a mask of charm or false intentions, making it hard to see their true nature. But as Stoic philosophy teaches us, awareness is the first step to protecting our peace and well-being. Today, we'll uncover 10 definitive signs of an evil person, traits and behaviors that, when recognized, can help you protect yourself from their toxic influence. With the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus as our guide, we'll learn how to maintain resilience, set boundaries, and safeguard our inner calm, even in the presence of negativity. If you've ever felt drained, manipulated, or undermined by someone in your life, this episode is for you. Stay tuned as we delve into these traits and explore how Stoic philosophy can empower you to face these challenges with strength and clarity. And before we begin, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Saga for more insights into philosophy, self-improvement, and the art of living wisely. 1. Master manipulators. Manipulation is a hallmark of toxic individuals. These people twist situations to their advantage, often leaving you questioning your own reality and decisions. They thrive on creating confusion and doubt, making you second-guess yourself while they maintain control. Their tactics are subtle yet devastating, often cloaked in seemingly innocent actions or words. Imagine this: a colleague at work strategically shifts blame for a missed deadline onto you, twisting facts and leaving you scrambling to defend yourself. They speak with such conviction that you begin to wonder if you did, in fact, make the mistake. This is the power of a manipulator. They distort the truth to serve their agenda, eroding your confidence in the process. The Stoics understood the importance of clarity and self-awareness in dealing with such people. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When faced with manipulation, your greatest defense is your ability to see through their games and remain grounded in your truth. To counter manipulation, practice mindfulness and critical thinking. When someone's words or actions make you feel off balance, pause and assess the situation objectively. Ask yourself, what are the facts? What are my instincts telling me? Manipulators thrive on emotional reactions, so maintaining composure is key to disarming their tactics. For example, if a manipulator tries to guilt you into doing something against your better judgment, respond calmly but firmly. Say, "I understand how you feel, but I need to make this decision based on what's best for me." This shows that you recognize their attempt at control while asserting your boundaries. The Stoics also taught us the importance of detachment. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." By refusing to internalize the manipulator's distortions, you reclaim your power. Recognize their tactics for what they are, a reflection of their insecurities, not a measure of your worth. Ultimately, the best way to protect yourself from manipulators is by staying true to your values and trusting your judgment. Their power lies in their ability to confuse and destabilize, but with awareness and resilience, you can see through their schemes and remain firmly rooted in your sense of self. 2. The deceptive charm. Charm is one of the most disarming tools used by toxic individuals. They can come across as charismatic, likable, even magnetic, drawing people in with ease. But beneath this polished exterior often lies a calculated intent to control, manipulate, or take advantage of others. Their charm isn't a reflection of kindness or sincerity. It's a mask they wear to hide their true motives. Picture this. You meet someone who seems to light up every room they enter. They're funny, attentive, and make you feel like you're the center of their world. But over time, you notice inconsistencies, small lies, shifting stories, or moments where their actions don't align with their words. Their charm begins to feel less genuine and more like a tool they use to gain your trust. The Stoics taught us to judge people not by their words or appearances, but by their actions. As Marcus Aurelius advised, the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. This means looking beyond the surface and assessing whether someone's behavior aligns with their charm. To protect yourself from deceptive charm, pay attention to patterns over time. True character reveals itself through consistency. Ask yourself, are their actions matching their words? Do they treat others with the same respect they show you? Or is their charm selectively applied? Observing these details helps you distinguish genuine kindness from calculated manipulation. For example, a person with deceptive charm might shower you with compliments or favors early on, creating a sense of obligation. If you notice that their generosity comes with strings attached or is followed by guilt-inducing comments, it's a red flag. Instead of getting swept up in their charisma, stay grounded and maintain clear boundaries. Epictetus reminded us, curb your desire. Don't set your heart on so many things, and you will get what you need. In this context, it means not being overly eager to trust or please someone simply because they seem charming. Trust should be earned through actions, not given freely to those who master the art of persuasion. Charm in itself isn't inherently bad. It becomes dangerous when it's used as a tool for manipulation. By staying observant and grounded, you can enjoy someone's charisma without falling prey to their hidden agendas. Remember, true character is revealed in how someone treats others when no one is watching, not in the charm they display in the spotlight. 3. Pathological lying. Lies are the cornerstone of manipulation, and for some toxic individuals, lying becomes second nature. Pathological liars weave untruths effortlessly, with no remorse or consideration for the harm they cause. Their lies often aren't about necessity, but power, the ability to control perceptions and distort reality to suit their needs. Imagine a friend who constantly embellishes their stories, changing details each time they're retold. At first, it might seem harmless, even entertaining. But over time, you begin to notice inconsistencies and question what's real. Pathological liars thrive on this confusion, keeping you off balance and unsure of the truth. The Stoics placed great emphasis on truth and integrity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Recognizing and addressing dishonesty in others starts with a commitment to clarity and reason. By grounding yourself in these principles, you can separate fact from fiction and avoid falling into their web of deceit. When dealing with a pathological liar, focus on their patterns, not just their words. Do their actions align with what they say? Are there repeated instances where their stories don't add up? Confronting them directly may not always yield the truth, as they're adept at deflecting and creating new lies. Instead, trust your instincts and observe the evidence. For example, if a coworker repeatedly takes credit for ideas or denies mistakes, document the facts. Approach situations calmly, presenting what you know without being drawn into their fabrications. This not only protects you, but also removes their power to distort your perception. Epictetus advised, It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When faced with lies, choose to respond with wisdom rather than anger. Recognize that their dishonesty reflects their character, not your worth or intelligence. By staying composed and discerning, you maintain control over your response and your peace of mind. Pathological liars may never admit the truth, but that doesn't mean you have to accept their behavior. Set boundaries and limit your exposure to their influence. Surround yourself with people who value honesty and integrity, and let their presence reinforce your commitment to living truthfully. Ultimately, the best defense against dishonesty is clarity. Clarity in your values, your relationships, and your perception of reality. When you stay anchored in truth, no web of lies can ensnare you. 4. Absence of empathy. Empathy is the foundation of healthy human relationships. It's what allows us to connect, understand, and support one another. But an absence of empathy is a defining trait of toxic individuals. They show a complete disregard for others' feelings, making it easy for them to hurt or manipulate without guilt or remorse. To them, emotions are tools to exploit rather than bonds to cherish. Imagine sharing a deeply personal struggle with someone only to have them dismiss your pain or shift the conversation back to themselves. It's not just that they don't care, it's that they lack the capacity to see your perspective. This absence of empathy creates a one-sided dynamic where your emotions are invalidated, leaving you feeling unseen and unheard. The Stoics believed in practicing compassion, even in the face of adversity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." This perspective reminds us that those lacking empathy often act out of ignorance, not deliberate malice. To recognize and protect yourself from an empathetic void, observe how someone responds to vulnerability, not just yours, but others. Do they listen with understanding, or do they brush off emotions as trivial? A lack of empathy often reveals itself in subtle ways, such as mocking others' pain or showing indifference to suffering. For example, if someone consistently belittles others' struggles or finds pleasure in pointing out their flaws, it's a red flag. Responding with compassion may not change their behavior, but it can help you maintain your integrity. Say something like, "I think it's important to approach this with understanding," and watch how they react. Their response will tell you a lot about their capacity for empathy. Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This wisdom encourages us to value listening and understanding in our interactions. While you can't force someone to be empathetic, you can choose to surround yourself with those who are and set boundaries with those who aren't. An absence of empathy doesn't just harm relationships, it erodes trust and connection. By recognizing this trait early and responding with clarity and self-respect, you protect your well-being and create space for healthier, more supportive connections. 5. Obsessive need for control. Control is at the heart of toxic behavior. Individuals with an obsessive need for control see every interaction as a power play, seeking dominance over people and situations. This compulsion isn't about leadership or order. It's about manipulation, ensuring that everything revolves around their desires and preferences. Their need for control can manifest in subtle ways, like micromanaging, or more overtly, through intimidation or coercion. Imagine being in a relationship where every decision, from what to eat to how to spend your time, is dictated by the other person. At first, it might seem like they're just opinionated or assertive. But over time, you notice a pattern. Your preferences are ignored, your independence is stifled, and their approval becomes a requirement for peace. This is the toxic need for control in action. The Stoics taught us to focus on what is within our control and let go of what isn't. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." When dealing with controlling individuals, it's essential to recognize where their influence ends and your autonomy begins. Understanding this distinction empowers you to maintain your boundaries. To counter a controlling person's tactics, assert your independence calmly and confidently. For instance, if they try to dictate how you spend your time, respond with something like, "I appreciate your input, but I need to make this decision for myself." This reinforces your autonomy without escalating conflict. Remember, standing firm doesn't mean engaging in a power struggle. It means protecting your space. A controlling person often uses guilt or manipulation to maintain their influence. They might frame their demands as for your own good, or suggest that questioning them is disloyal. Recognize these tactics for what they are: attempts to undermine your self-confidence. By staying grounded and true to your values, you prevent them from gaining control over your thoughts and actions. Seneca advised, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This wisdom reminds us that true freedom comes from self-mastery, not from controlling others or being controlled by them. When you encounter someone with an obsessive need for control, prioritize your independence and peace of mind. Their desire for dominance is a reflection of their insecurities, not a measure of your worth. Ultimately, the best way to deal with controlling behavior is to set firm boundaries and protect your autonomy. Surround yourself with people who respect and support your independence, and let the principles of Stoic philosophy guide you toward a life of balance and freedom. 6. Blame shifters. One of the most frustrating traits of toxic individuals is their refusal to take responsibility for their actions. Blame shifters are masters at dodging accountability, redirecting fault to others, and painting themselves as victims. This behavior not only undermines trust, but also creates an environment where problems are never resolved, as they refuse to acknowledge their role in them. Imagine working on a team project where a mistake is made. Instead of addressing the issue and taking shared accountability, one person immediately points fingers at everyone else. They twist the narrative, making themselves look blameless, while others are left to shoulder the blame. This pattern of deflection is a hallmark of a blame shifter. The Stoics emphasized the importance of owning our actions and learning from our mistakes. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." In stark contrast, blame shifters reject this wisdom, choosing to preserve their ego rather than grow through self-reflection. Dealing with a blame shifter requires clarity and composure. When they attempt to deflect responsibility, stick to the facts and avoid getting drawn into their emotional tactics. For example, if they accuse you of causing an issue you know they created, calmly present evidence of what happened without attacking them personally. Say something like, "I understand your perspective, but here's what I observed." It's also essential to protect your emotional energy. Blame shifters often thrive on creating confusion and guilt. By refusing to internalize their accusations, you safeguard your confidence and peace of mind. Epictetus taught, No one can harm you without your consent. This reminds us that while others may try to shift blame, it's up to us to decide how much power we give their words. In relationships, blame shifters can erode trust and communication if their behavior goes unchecked. Setting boundaries is crucial. Make it clear that accountability is a non-negotiable part of any healthy interaction. If they refuse to take responsibility, consider whether their presence in your life aligns with your values and well-being. Ultimately, blame shifters reveal their character through their inability to own their actions. By maintaining your integrity, sticking to the truth, and refusing to engage in their games, you protect yourself from their toxicity and foster an environment of honesty and growth. 7. Pleasure in others' pain. One of the darkest traits of truly toxic individuals is their ability to derive satisfaction from the pain or struggles of others. Whether through subtle mockery, overt cruelty, or passive indifference, these people reveal a cruel streak that thrives on others' discomfort. This behavior not only reflects their lack of empathy, but also their deep-seated need to elevate themselves by tearing others down. Imagine confiding in someone about a setback, only for them to smirk or make a sarcastic remark that amplifies your distress. Instead of offering support or understanding, they use your vulnerability as an opportunity to assert dominance or inflate their own ego. Their actions may be veiled in humor or honesty, but the underlying intent is unmistakable: to enjoy your discomfort. The Stoics emphasized compassion and virtue as guiding principles for living harmoniously with others. Marcus Aurelius advised, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil.'" This perspective helps us understand that those who take pleasure in others' pain act out of ignorance or inner turmoil, not strength. To protect yourself from such individuals, recognize the signs of this behavior early. Do they seem to delight in others' misfortunes? Are their jokes often at someone else's expense? When confronted with these patterns, establish firm boundaries. Refuse to engage in conversations or interactions that enable their toxic tendencies. For example, if someone mocks you during a vulnerable moment, respond calmly but assertively. Say something like, "I shared that with you because I trusted you, not because I wanted to be ridiculed." This not only calls out their behavior, but also communicates your unwillingness to tolerate it. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When dealing with someone who enjoys causing pain, your reaction determines the outcome. By maintaining your composure and refusing to give them the response they seek, you strip away their power. While it's tempting to confront their cruelty with anger or retaliation, remember that their behavior stems from their own insecurities and unresolved issues. Instead, focus on surrounding yourself with supportive and kind individuals who uplift rather than tear down. This reinforces your emotional resilience and creates a positive environment where toxic influences have no foothold. Ultimately, those who find pleasure in others' pain reveal more about themselves than the people they hurt. By recognizing this trait and choosing to rise above it, you protect your peace and align yourself with the virtues of kindness and strength. 8. Isolation tactics. Toxic individuals often use isolation as a tool to weaken their targets. By cutting you off from your support systems, friends, family, or colleagues, they make you more dependent on them. This manipulation tactic is subtle at first, often disguised as concern or care, but its goal is control. The more isolated you feel, the easier it is for them to dominate your emotions and decisions. Imagine being in a relationship where your partner frequently discourages you from seeing your friends, subtly suggesting that they aren't good for you or that spending time with them takes away from your relationship. Over time, you notice that your social circle has shrunk and your partner becomes your sole source of emotional connection. This isn't love or protection, it's isolation. The Stoics emphasize the importance of maintaining connections and nurturing relationships based on mutual respect and support. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Man is a social animal. We are born for the sake of each other." Isolation goes against this natural need for community and shared growth, leaving you vulnerable to manipulation. To identify isolation tactics, pay attention to patterns in their behavior. Do they make you feel guilty for spending time with others? Do they criticize your loved ones or try to create conflict between you and your friends? Recognizing these signs early is essential to breaking free from their influence. When facing someone who uses isolation as a tactic, set clear boundaries. Let them know that your relationships are non-negotiable. For instance, if they try to guilt you about seeing your family, respond assertively. "Maintaining my relationships with the people I care about is important to me, and I need you to respect that." This reinforces your independence while challenging their attempts to control you. Epictetus taught, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When dealing with isolation tactics, your freedom lies in reclaiming your connections and refusing to let their manipulations dictate your actions. Rebuilding your social network, if it has been affected, is also crucial. Reach out to friends and family, even if it feels awkward or strained after time apart. Explain the situation if needed and prioritize reconnecting with those who genuinely support and uplift you. Isolation tactics are a red flag for deeper toxic behaviors. By recognizing them, setting boundaries, and reinforcing your support network, you protect yourself from their influence and create space for relationships built on trust and mutual respect. 9. Veiled jealousy. Jealousy, when hidden behind subtle criticism or sabotage, can be one of the most insidious traits of a toxic individual. Rather than openly addressing their envy, they mask it with backhanded compliments, constant negativity, or attempts to undermine your achievements. This veiled jealousy isn't just about their feelings. It's a deliberate effort to diminish your confidence and happiness. Imagine you've just achieved something significant, perhaps a promotion, personal milestone, or recognition for your efforts. Instead of celebrating with you, this person says something like, "Must be nice to get lucky," or "I guess everyone gets their turn eventually." Their words may seem harmless on the surface, but they're designed to plant seeds of doubt and take the shine off your success. The Stoics emphasized focusing on internal validation rather than seeking approval from others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." When faced with veiled jealousy, this wisdom encourages us to value our own achievements without letting others' envy tarnish our pride. To handle veiled jealousy, start by recognizing it for what it is, a reflection of their insecurities, not a commentary on your worth. When their remarks or actions seem aimed at diminishing your joy, pause and remind yourself of your accomplishments and the hard work that went into them. Their opinion doesn't define your success. For example, If they try to undermine your achievement with a dismissive comment, respond with confidence. Say something like, "I worked really hard for this, and I'm proud of what I accomplished." This not only reaffirms your confidence, but also subtly communicates that their attempts to downplay your success won't work. Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This isn't about ignoring your strengths, but about being comfortable with your own growth, even when others are uncomfortable with it. Let their veiled jealousy highlight their struggles, not diminish your progress. In relationships, veiled jealousy can also manifest as sabotage, intentional or not. They might discourage you from pursuing opportunities or subtly point out obstacles to make you second-guess yourself. Be vigilant about these patterns and set boundaries to protect your goals and aspirations. Ultimately, dealing with veiled jealousy requires a balance of empathy and assertiveness. Understand that their envy stems from their own dissatisfaction, but don't let it compromise your sense of achievement. Celebrate your successes unapologetically and continue striving for growth, regardless of how others react. 10. The unforgiving heart. An unforgiving heart is a hallmark of toxic individuals. They cling to grudges, replaying past wrongs in their minds and letting resentment fester. Their inability or refusal to forgive keeps negativity alive, creating an endless cycle of conflict and bitterness. This trait doesn't just harm their relationships, it poisons their own sense of peace and well-being. Imagine dealing with someone who brings up a mistake you made months or even years ago every time they're upset. Instead of resolving the issue and moving forward, they use it as ammunition, keeping the past alive to justify their current anger. This behavior not only stalls growth, but also erodes trust and connection. The Stoics taught us the value of letting go of the past to live in the present. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You should leave another's wrongdoing where it lies." Forgiveness, both for others and for yourself, is a necessary step toward maintaining harmony and inner peace. Carrying the weight of unresolved anger only drags you down. To navigate an unforgiving heart, start by setting boundaries. If someone repeatedly brings up past grievances, calmly but firmly redirect the conversation. For instance, say, "I understand this issue hurt you, but revisiting it doesn't help us move forward. Let's focus on finding a resolution." This approach acknowledges their feelings while refusing to stay trapped in a loop of resentment. It's also important to protect your own emotional health. Epictetus taught, "Remember that it is we who torment, we who make difficulties for ourselves. That is, our opinions do." When dealing with an unforgiving person, avoid internalizing their negativity. Recognize that their inability to let go is a reflection of their struggles, not a measure of your worth or actions. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning bad behavior. It means releasing yourself from the hold of the past. If their grudge becomes a recurring source of toxicity, consider whether the relationship aligns with your values and well-being. You cannot force someone to forgive, but you can choose how much power their resentment holds over your life. In the end, an unforgiving heart is a burden that weighs heavily on both the person carrying it and those around them. By choosing to let go of grudges and focus on the present, you free yourself from that burden and create space for growth, joy, and connection. As we bring this discussion to a close, it's clear that identifying toxic traits is not about labeling or judging others, but about protecting your peace and creating a life rooted in clarity and virtue. The signs we've explored, manipulation, dishonesty, cruelty, and more, are behaviors that disrupt harmony and drain your energy. By recognizing these traits, you empower yourself to set boundaries, make wiser choices, and safeguard your inner calm. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can always control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This wisdom encourages us to focus on our own growth and resilience, regardless of the negativity we may encounter. In navigating relationships with difficult individuals, remember to stay grounded in your values. Choose compassion where possible, assert boundaries where needed, and always prioritize your emotional well-being. Toxicity thrives in confusion and chaos, but with the clarity and strength of Stoic philosophy, you can rise above it. Thank you for joining me in this journey of self-awareness and empowerment. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to subscribe to the Stoic Saga channel for more insights on philosophy, self-improvement, and living with purpose. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's continue exploring the wisdom that helps us face life's challenges with courage and clarity.